1 in 5 suffer.
Erase the stigma.
Brain difference is not a crime.
Mental health isn't just your problem.
It's our problem.
And now, Mental Health Mondays with Marla and Dave.
Welcome to Mental Health Mondays with Marla and Dave. I happen to be Dave.
And Dave happened to be late giving me some information that I need. And so I'm Marla receiving information.
And I'm also late giving Tony some information. Got it? All
Tony
right,
doesn't
good.
even want your information.
Tony's
He
on
said,
the
"Get out of
ball.
here."
We want to remind you guys right at the top of the show to text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 818-698-1021. A dollar today keeps the stigma away. That's our campaign. We need your support. Oh, man, if you guys didn't catch last week's show, you really missed it. And if you've been living under a rock, you might not know the name Rickey Minor. But for the rest of the universe, everybody knows who Rickey Minor is. Oh, man, we had a great show last week. He's an extraordinary bass player, director, composer, producer. He's an author. His book is called There's No Traffic on the Extra Mile. He's been musical director for a host of celebrities: Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera, Ray Charles, Alicia Keys, Beyoncé, and many more. Man, he has been nominated for 13 Primetime Emmy Awards, and he's won 2. And the list of his accolades could go on forever. We can just do the whole show.
I don't have enough fingers. I've already gone around
listing
3
his
times.
credits. But the credit that means most to Marla and I is he's one of our great friends. One of the few friends that we have an extremely long-term relationship here in this town we call Hollywood. Man, and he's been dropping nuggets. Last week, he gave us so much gold that we're going to leave the show and go straight to the bank. We were going to retire.
I would seriously encourage everybody to please go back and review episode 1. The information and conversation that we're having with Rickey is one that must be revisited.
But for now, put your seatbelts on. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When Dave and Marla get it together.
Mental Health Mondays with Marla and Dave and NAMI San Fernando Valley believe it doesn't take much to make life a little better for our neighbors, coworkers, friends, our family members, even our children who suffer with mental illness. When you support our A Dollar Today Keeps the Stigma Away campaign, you are doing your part to erase the stigma surrounding mental illness. For just $1 today, or $1 a day for 1 week, just $7, we can look forward to a future that does not include the unfortunate and uncomfortable stares, bullying, and the subsequent isolation that our loved ones who suffer with brain differences deal with. Text the word GIVE, that's G-I-V-E, to 818-698-1021 to donate. A dollar today keeps the stigma away. Brought to you by Mental Health Mondays with Marla and Dave and NAMI San Fernando Valley.
We welcome back to Mental Health Mondays, the great Mr. Rickey Minor. Keep it coming.
He has such a TV cued response. It's perfect.
Absolutely. Well, Rickey, like we said in the intro, last week you really were just dropping nuggets of gold.
And did we miscalculate one of your?
Yeah, I think that you guys do what you normally do, which you can see in the future. And I have 12 nominations, but I think I'm going to have 13.
Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes.
I'm going to take 13 or 15, 16.
Or 15 or 16.
16, 17.
Well, Rickey,
Exactly.
if it was up to me, then you have your 13th. Oh, this is bottle of water. Emmy coming up for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. You definitely are worthy. Okay, so we were having a conversation. Again, thank you just for just emoting and sharing your truth. And because I've known you for so long, I know that our friend as well and your first wife, Karen, passed away. Yeah. But you guys, there was definitely you came to a point where, as friends, you revealed that there was a diagnosis with Karen and mental health. And I guess one of the questions that I specifically want to ask is, when you have a family history or when you deal with things that are traumatic and off-center, do you think that sets you up in life to think that the abstract in behavior is normal Like, did you deal with that?
I don't think that anyone who experiences any trauma in their life, I don't think there's a situation where in your mind you're going to validate and say that, well, this is common or this is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we're not equipped to deal with our own trauma and emotions, and we're definitely not experienced enough to deal with someone else's. So it starts out, I think, being moody. I'm moody, or I'm not in a good mood, right? And then it becomes to anger, and it can get violent. And I don't mean just violence against someone else, but to people want to hurt themselves,
Right?
Yeah.
Because they just don't want to be in this body. Like, I don't like what I'm feeling in this body, and I really don't know what to do. So the best thing I can do is lash out. And I remember, some of the trauma that Karen felt based on her life with her dad being in the military and traveling and growing up in Germany and in Montana and Utah, all the cold places, and being the only black girl around, or one of few. And so that can do something to your psyche to where you just don't think you're good enough.
You don't
and
feel valued. You're worthless.
You're
inside.
dark.
Yeah.
You're dark, and this dark is not in.
Right.
Not in here, not in the snow where so other kids are mean and they don't understand. So they start, teasing you about your hair, about your skin, about all things. And so I think that carrying that, and I remember her saying, as a kid, she felt she had to get them before they got her.
Right.
Wow.
So you have to be hard, on them.
A little self-preservation.
And I know what you just mentioned when we talked to you in the last episode about the responsibility that you carried. So we already know what your heart is.
Yeah.
How hard was that to level yourself to finally be able to heal and make a difference that you understood for you that you couldn't save her either? Like,
yeah, well, and that it goes, again, I have this disease to please that I had, and that's gone now. But during that time, I wanted to help ease that pain, and it's hard when you see someone you love who's in pain.
Yeah.
And you guys know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and everyone out there listening knows that when you realize that you actually don't have what it takes to pull them out, and you see them drowning, and you got your arm in, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm leaning too far in. I'm about to go down myself and go down this treacherous road.
Yeah.
So, but I think that, again, there's power in letting go. There's kindness, and you can still be kind and also have healthy boundaries and say, okay, I understand you're angry, but let's find another time to talk, because this conversation is not helping either one of us. I can't help you, and where you are right now, I'm definitely not qualified. So let's see what. I'm here to help you as much as I can.
right.
Yeah.
But if it's
I'm
beyond
not
your
the
right.
answer. But
That's something else that you said
Alpha
last week, a nugget that you dropped last week, just like when we get on a plane, an airplane. They say put your mask on first. Take care of yourself first before you're able to take care of somebody else.
Well, I can.
And that's what I said about, where you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you're whole as
Right.
much as you can. And that requires spending time with yourself. And that's another thing that we avoid because we're afraid that we're going to hear the voices of you're not good enough,
Wow.
You're not that great. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to play basketball. You're not, LeBron James,
Yeah.
I mean, so you start comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
And I've had someone that I really respected, and there were two of my heroes, and I was talking about conducting the Oscars, and it was Dudamel and John Williams.
Wow.
And they're doing the in memoriam for that year with the LA Phil. So I'm at rehearsal early, and we're talking, and afterwards, Dudamel says to John, Rickey's conducting the whole thing. It's a 3-hour thing. It's on and on, so much music and stuff. And I said, yeah, but I can't do what you guys do. And he said, we can't do what you do either.
Wow.
So, and I say that as a point of reference where we look at someone else and we
Put them on a pedestal.
Yeah, on a pedestal,
Yeah.
and we think that that's not attainable. But again, So wait a minute. All I have to do is be the best version of me, and
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm good. I mean, I'm not
Right.
them, but then
Right.
I'm not you either. So just do your best, and your best is
Well, there's a saying.
ridiculous.
There's a saying that I have, and I used to teach my young girls this when I was fitness training, and I would say, never measure yourself out with the measuring stick outside, which is comparison.
Yeah.
Only the measuring stick inside, because it's the only thing you'll ever measure up to. No one can be a better version of you than you. It's impossible.
But it's always so much easier to say these things
No, it is.
than
But,
actually practice
if
these
you look
things.
at it, I mean, and I always say that it's whatever energy that is in the room, it's never outside in. It's inside out. You need to operate from inside and push your love out. And whatever comes, it can't break that wall.
Right.
Yeah, I love
It's
that.
true.
Get
I
on the
love
love
that.
train.
Once again,
He
another
said,
nugget.
"Get on the love train."
Right.
But you know what? And I'll share with you, what you were talking about, the oxygen mask. One of the things that I've shared recently online, based on the situations that I'm managing with my children, I said and this is from parents to children.
Yeah.
I said it was an instinct for me as a mother when I saw my child in the deep end drowning to just immediately instinctually I jumped in, until I realized, oh my God.
Can I swim?
No, we can both swim. I knew I was the stronger swimmer. That's why I jumped in to save.
Right.
However, the fight in the water with someone who, and this is an adult, who doesn't want to be saved or doesn't even recognize that
they need saving.
they need saving.
Yeah.
And I realized, holy crap, I'm now to the point where this is my last little bit of energy, and I'm looking at, oh man, we're both drowning. And I swam back to the shore, and I happened to be standing in front of my house, and there happened to be a life preserver, no joke. And I said, now I realize I needed to get on stable ground, and I'm going to throw the preserver, and you either have to take it and be pulled to safety or not, because I had to leave it in God's hands. It's their life to lose or
journey.
live.
Yeah.
I can't do it for you.
And that's a very rude awakening. I mean, it's jarring.
Yes.
And I've been there before. With my son, and unfortunately, he took responsibility for himself, and that was the only thing that I had. I got love, but if you take responsibility for yourself, you'll find out that the world is endless possibilities for you.
Right.
And now he's living his best life and decided to do that. But it's a decision that only they can make, and that's the hardest thing, because you want to will it. You want to lock him up or just beat him across the head. I mean, anything to wake him up.
Right.
Throw him in the freezing ocean.
Right.
I don't know,
When we come back from this break, Ricky, I'm gonna tell you something actually hilarious that young adults who are struggling don't realize that matches that exact sentiment.
Also, when we come back, we want to turn the corner and start asking the questions about music, the music business, and Rickey's matriculation, his journey through this thing we call music.
Wait, hold up. Matrica who? Using the big words. You better use the big words.
Darling,
You better use the big words.
We'll be right back.
All right. Generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, is diagnosed when someone has extreme, persistent worries that they can't control and that don't always have a distinct cause. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, GAD, or generalized anxiety disorder, affects up to 6.8 million people every year, and women are twice as likely to be diagnosed than men.
While mild or moderate anxiety is part of everyday life, and even tied to our prehistoric survival, GAD and other anxiety disorders are characterized by anxiety that doesn't naturally ebb and flow. GAD anxiety is persistent and all-consuming. Symptoms might include feeling restless, fatigue, irritability, difficulty thinking, persistent and or uncontrollable worry, increased heart rate, or even sleep problems.
The Partnership Development Group says mild anxiety can be caused by anything that creates stress in your life. But the more serious GAD, or again, that's generalized anxiety disorder, can be caused by any or all of the following: trauma, illness-related stress, triggered stresses and stress buildup, personality and genetics, other mental health disorders, or even drugs or alcohol use.
If you or someone you know is dealing with an abnormal amount of anxiety, please, we ask all it on Mental Health Monday, seek professional help. And remember that you are not alone. There is help. This message is brought to you by Mental Health Mondays with Marla and Dave.
I never do anything without thinking about it first. Marla is a feeler.
I basically live my personality on my scene.
But when Marla and Dave get together, it's like a match dancing with a firecracker.
I just can't.
Oh,
we
man, we are
love
back.
our friends, but sometimes when you have too much history, you just can't.
All right, so now before we
acting
jump into music, I think you had a little carryover question, Marla.
Yes, except you distracted me by now I'm too going to just tune right into Rickey because there's some things about his music career I want to know.
So let's jump right in, man. You've worked with just about every celebrity, not just as in your capacity as musical director, but you've pretty much, at least out here on the West Coast, you are the man for live performance when it comes to organizing and producing those shows. And like I said, you work with everyone. Give us just some anecdotal stories of, I don't want to put you on the spot and say who was the funniest because I know it was me, who was the most good looking because here I am.
True.
No, just joking. Tell us about your exploits working with all these celebrities, man.
Well, I think the first thing we have to all understand is they're just like us. The same
Boom.
thing. Same thing. So there's no. My job is to serve in this capacity. So how can I connect with them and get them to where they want to be? It's not about it's never about me. Like the song that we choose or the arrangements or any of that is not for me. It's what their vision is, and then how can I get them closer to that so that because a genius is the person who's most like themselves. So if I can help them be the best version of them, then that's what you're going to get. And again, I have a role to play in, but it's not as big as one would think. I mean, I don't think that people who do this work look at themselves like I did. It's like I'm a part of that team. When the team wins the Super Bowl, when the team wins, the team wins.
Yeah.
Sure, there are some key players that made a shot at a certain point or intercepted a pass or something. There's someone who's but it takes the team.
Yeah.
So no one person can ever say I did. And if someone said that they did, you're probably lying. I did everything. I did really. So you sung, you loaded in the stuff, you tuned everything, you played all the instruments, and then you mixed it. Oh, and wait, and you directed it too.
That person sounds like they belong on Venice Beach on the weekend.
But you know what? You have so many lessons of life, exhibited as well by the book. But when it comes to your impact in music, is there something else that Rickey Minor wants to do to just impact the world through your voice or your craft?
Good question.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always so when I was young, I think in high school, my math teacher, because again, there are people always around to help, and so don't be afraid to ask questions and ask for help. My math teacher said to me, he said, the same thing about what you know and all of this stuff. But he said, think of it like this. You need to put together a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. And each year revisit and make sure you're doing what you want to do. And if you are doing something that you don't want to do, never let anyone make you feel that you're a quitter.
For changing directions.
You can change your mind. It's
Wow.
okay. It's okay to change your mind and say, I tried this and it's not for me.
Right.
And so you can think what you want, but you can't live my life. And so thank you very much.
And that stop right there. I got to look at my audience. That he just said is huge. And how many times have we made an agreement with ourselves in one stage or position or moment in our lives, and then we're afraid to make a new agreement that fits where we are at another point. And that's a very big thing.
Well, it's a hard thing because we're human, so we seek approval. If we get approval, then we feel good about ourselves because someone approved us. But if approved our decisions, our behavior. I had one young singer say, "Look, I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing if it kills me." I said, "Well, you might as well go ahead and bite it. Because you can't sing. Like, just give up this whole thing. You're not going to make it as a singer."
I did not expect this to be the anecdotal story, but okay.
No, that's it. You can't do it. So I mean, there are a lot of things, and I believe that we all of us are great at a lot of things. There's not one thing that you're great at. You could only do that one thing. So do what you love.
Explore.
And love what you do.
Yeah, I love that. Again, man.
Well,
Yeah, I said it. Do what you love and love what you do. What you looking at?
you know why I'm looking at you,
I
Ricky?
thought Marla was Billboard, but Ricky's now become Billboard
I'm gonna
as
have to have
well.
a billboard off. I'm gonna have to have a tagline off with Ricky. But no, I'm looking at Ricky because I
T-shirts
was
next week.
sitting here looking at his eyes, thinking, he's so grounded. How did he go through American Idol auditions? I don't know how. I don't know how many times I would watch American
Man.
Idol and go, nobody told him. Like, how? Like, this is fodder.
Well, the thing is that people really believe it. I mean, and they
That's
believe
what
it.
I'm saying. They
Yeah,
were really in. It was real.
but- You know.
Give us the inside scoop. Do some of those people for the audition process, is that just for television? Because, I mean, those people are really bad sometimes.
So when I did the show, I wasn't around generally for the audition.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And that was
He did
done
the-
by
he
the
did the show.
judges, and they were on
I
tour.
gotcha.
Right.
By the time they got to me, but there are some that where and I said in the book, which I haven't referenced the book in 10 years or so, but there's a place where I said I had to have a talk with a group of them and say, there's going to come a time when your ego passes your talent. And for some of you, that's happened already. So I suggest
Good
no,
night.
no, but I suggest that I suggest you do what Stevie Wonder and Whitney Houston and Beyonce and on do, and just say, "Thank you, Mr. Minor." Yeah. So there's.
You're welcome.
I don't need a response back from that. This
Right.
This is a fact, and of course, and listen, it's quite natural. I mean, I'm not like dogging them. It's quite natural that you go from zero to hero in one episode.
Yeah.
You're at home
That's
singing
true.
in your bedroom, and now you're on TV, and everyone's
Lights,
voting for you.
cameras, action.
Yeah, and everyone's everyone's saying you're amazing. But truth be told, you're not where you're going to be. So understand that it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. Like I'm not dogging them. It's a process.
No, I
You
get
gotta,
it.
I mean, and ego. The acronym ego itself is edging God out.
Wow.
That it's not about God. It's about you.
I'm gonna have to study up.
Yeah. Take notes. It's going to be a quiz next week.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to.
So
I
now,
used to be
now,
the queen of
with
tag. I'm
all
after
that
you,
you've
Ricky.
accomplished in music, what's next for you?
Well, I think same thing. So back to my plan. My 1 year,
5
Love
year,
it.
10 year,
1, 3, 5, 10.
1, 3, 5, 10.
Yeah. So I'm always assessing, and now I'm creating content that I have IP that I own and that I produce and executive produce, and so that's where my team is at. And I'll still do the shows that I want to do, but there are things that I want to do, and that's important to me to not only shape, and some have to do with youth and underserved and shows that not only shine the spotlight on it, but give them an opportunity and a through line for what's next for them. Because that's what's important for me. I think that James Ingram once said to me, "You serve, so you deserve." And you deserve all
Deserve, yes.
deserve
Yes.
all that's coming to you. You serve, so you deserve. And so he's like, you deserve it. And so with those things, there'll come responsibility. And so you don't get it wasn't given you for you. It was given to you so you can pass it on.
Wow.
If you hold on to it, then you're not letting it breathe.
Somebody's preaching on today.
All right, so we'll be right back in a minute.
And Marla, don't let us down. We kind of started off
I feel
lackluster last
exploited.
week.
I mean, first, I'm already trying to balance up from the Roe versus Wade thing, and now I'm in here dancing. Like, I feel like...
Okay. Well,
That's your pole dance.
Last week, we asked the question, what percentage of young people ages 6 through 17 experience a mental health disorder each year? Your options were 8%, 12%, or 17%.
And Ricky, what did you answer, sir?
He said 17. And
whatever. He's right.
He's right yet again.
So let me see if I can stump the Ricky one more time.
Along with some others, is batting 1,000.
Let me try to stump Ricky. Here we go. Right. Ricky, what percentage of adults experience serious mental illness each year?
Last week we talked about kids. Now it's about adults.
3%.
No.
Or 8. Oh, 2%.
Well, first of
5%.
all, read.
Okay. Shh. 2%. I can't read this faded out percentage. 2%, 5%, or 8%. I'll ask the question again. What percentage of adults experience serious mental illness each year? 2%, 5%, or 8%?
8.
Okay, well,
okay,
we're gonna
so
have to
we can't tell you this week if
Ricky,
you're still batting 1,000.
If Ricky batted 1,000 consistently, but he'll have to show up next week to see if you are the star that we have placed upon your head, sir.
Remember to text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 818-698-1021. Support our A Dollar Today Keeps the Stigma Away campaign. Back to the show. All right, so as usual, time flies.
When you're
we're having
fun.
fun.
We miss you, Ricky. We haven't seen you we showed up at the Paul Simon tribute,
yeah.
And there you were in all your glory. Ricky he's his own show, for the record. In case no one knows, if you go to a show, get there early if Ricky has anything to do with it, because Ricky is his own he's a ball of entertainment. You are.
Now, let me ask you something, Rick. All the times that I've known you, the first thing you do when someone comes up, especially in one of those situations where there are going to be a lot of celebrities there, you have jokes like this. Do you just sit at home and work on your, have a little book that you got all your jokes in, or is that just always spontaneous?
He's free to be him.
No, I mean, it's really important for me. If I can't laugh, then I'm out. Like it's not like life's too short to be joyful, happy, and laughing, and really enjoy each other. And so I don't go to put down or
Let me tell you how you know it's authentic. I'm gonna give you guys a tip. Ricky's jokes are never, ever, ever one-liners. Meaning Ricky doesn't give one-liners.
I thought you were going to say funny, but
no.
Go.
Well,
and thank you. Very nice to see everyone, and thank you so much. It's been nice being here. And I'm taking away the rights. You'll never see this tape because I'm taking away all rights. I've signed nothing. And remember, don't sign anything until you see the final product. Trust me.
Hilarious.
No, that's real though. It comes from inside of you, and what I notice is you're just an authentic. It's always organic with you. Period. You don't just run out there and
No, I've told you, I'm funny. I'm handsome. I'm all the things.
Hello,
Johnny.
Hello.
Can we kill the rest of the?
Kill the mic.
Can we unplug him? No, really.
Man.
On a serious tip. So you know what? I have to say that we appreciate you've impacted.
Indeed.
Obviously, our production crew was here, and this is the first time. She's like, Can
she dropped the camera, dropped her phone.
She couldn't hold her phone up. I was like, what? It's Ricky.
It's all about who you pay. I pay to have fans. You guys need to learn, okay?
Oh, man. Well, Rick, man, we appreciate you.
Do you have another? Let me tell you this. 2 things. We're going to be calling on you to join us on a social level. When I say social, on our campaign as Dave and I are growing our foundation. Your conversation just on a speaking level. I don't know if you plan to do another book. I would suggest that you do. Because I think that, your life travels through so many different places, and you just pick up, you're like a wisdom sponge that is genuine. And I think that it's refreshing, because I think when people look at who you are and what you do, like Dave asked you, people admire and see a celebrity scenario in their mind as the pinnacle of all things. But what you've done is brought levity to just the humanness of talent and, all of the focuses that we need to really just be our best selves. And that's everybody. That's the goal for everybody.
It's a universal message. Yeah.
And I used to say I speak to little kids, I would go to schools and speak. And one year I would focus on a theme, and one year it was fame. And I said to them, fame is a reputation for being excellent, the best at what you do. and other than that, it's infamy. But you get what I'm saying. So that's essentially what you're saying, and that applies to everybody.
Yeah, well, I remember working with Patty Austin,
Mm-hmm. I love her.
and she said, well, Rickey, you go from being who's Patty Austin to get me Patty Austin to get me a young Patty Austin.
Wow.
To who's
Patty
Patty
Austin?
Yeah.
Right back where you started.
Right back where you started. So don't get caught up in any of that of who knows you. And people go, well, I wanna work with this person, that person. It's not who you know.
Right.
It's who knows you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You could know Quincy Jones, but if he doesn't know you, then you don't
What's
get
the
that
difference?
call.
Yeah.
You don't get the call. So let your work speak.
Right.
You don't have to always go out and that's I think that's some of the challenges, at least right now, with the social media stars and people who, because you don't you're not called upon to really deliver in real time. So and as they say, anyone can be charming on a long distance call. So if you're that far away from someone and you're not face to face delivering the product, it's hard to see what's real. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times I don't know what's real or not. But then when the person comes there to actually sing, you find out that, well, it was her mother that actually sang. No, you never know. I'm not hitting on anybody.
Right.
Mrs. Spinelli.
Right.
Well, you know what, Rickey? Again, we thank you. Your wisdom that you have shared is invaluable, man. And
thanks for sharing your life journey with us. Our paths did this, and I'm just glad that we can still be associated to walk in a parallel fashion.
one of the things we have known and grown accustomed to expect from you is greatness. So we know you got a lot more left in the tank, man. Looking forward to the future.
Yeah, and by the way, and when it's over, I'm good. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, are plans of retirement ever in your...
No, I'm just saying when
Life.
when life is over, when this life is over as we know it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You've lived.
oh man.
Gave it your all.
lived.
Yeah, and I received, because you get what you give. There's no secret.
Right.
Again, there you go.
Give it all away.
Ooh, and he even ended with a tag.
There you go. Our
I'm
guest
taking my
has
tag
been
back.
the great Rickey Minor and the wise Rickey Minor. He shares so much
And
with
you know
us.
what?
It man.
It won't be
indeed.
the
Glad to
last.
be here.
Dave and I, the Loving Beyond Reason and Mental Health Monday, there's events that are coming up. We will absolutely have to invite Rickey to do something with us on a level to bring people together.
You better.
Pickleball, y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Do you play pickleball?
Have you heard of pickleball?
Well, there's certain things I've heard of, and that is not one.
We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Raw, real, and unfiltered.